Hello everyone, DonTheCrown here, and we got a surprise bit of information here from Torchlight Infinite. Kind of been like waiting with bated breath for the next season of Torchlight, and yeah, they just dropped a season teaser trailer, which is pretty exciting. This is kind of something they kind of started to do new kind of the last season. We got something very similar for Outlaw, where we basically got the, to kind of see a little bit of Rosa here tearing up all sorts of monsters and doing stuff, and didn't really give us a lot of details as to like what the season was actually going to be. It kind of gave us a general kind of like feel for it, and the fact that it was Rosa in the trailer. Rosa ended up being, Rosa 2 ended up being the character for the season, the new character. So that might be a little bit of information we have here going into the new one. But let's watch this real quick and then we can talk about it, kind of break down some of the stuff.
They seek the door. Yet no one has ever known what awaits beyond it.
I really like the animation here.
Some say the ground there breathes. Some say the walls sprout arms. Some whisper of drifting heads, familiar faces. Others insist the last door conceals treasures without end.
All the loot.
She's simply waiting to draw you in.
And there we go. That is the preview trailer. So we're going to have the reveal on September 29th at 10 a.m. PDT. And the season launch is actually on October 10th at 7 p.m. PDT. If you're on my Discord, I did make 2 events for this. If you want to come and, just add those to your calendar or whatever, it's a good way to keep track of this. But this is definitely pretty exciting. Obviously, right off the bat here, we're seeing Selena going through and, just doing stuff. And this is very similar to what we saw with Rosa this last season, because the outfit that Rosa used in the Outlaw video was an outfit that we already had for Rosa. And then Tide Whisperer came with this Nightingale outfit. And so this is basically like kind of the only outfit that Selena has. So this is kind of hinting that it's going to be a Selena character. And we see her kind of using guns and like summoning a whole ton of guns and stuff. So I'm going to guess that it's going to be a physical spellcaster of some sort. Mostly because we haven't gotten really like any physical focused characters, I think, ever. But it should be relatively interesting. And also, believe that this is going to be a rework of the Dark Surge mechanic, simply because they said that they're going to be reworking a mechanic this season. In one of the crow's corners, we get to like ask the developers questions, and they pick some of them to answer, and they said they're going to be reworking a mechanic, and everything is kind of purple and kind of looks like Dark Surge kind of like icon and stuff. So we can kind of see that like potentially this is going to be maybe a mechanic that's similar to Nightmare, where you end up like having, a map kind of proc, and you end up going and like having an alternative universe type of thing. But this also could be like an out of map type of mechanic. Typically the game goes and does a like in the, map or into the nether realm type of mechanic, and then outside of the map, kind of like, Mistville or, Canvas or something like that. And so we're kind of due for a mechanic that does that. So we can see like Selena like summoning guns. She like summons a whole ton of guns a couple of times, just like shooting in general. So it could be kind of interesting. Now we have this character that shows up at the end, which has some people thinking that maybe this is a rework to Clockwork and Dark Surge. I've seen some people talking about this. But I think that this is very likely a boss, potentially the boss for the mechanic, or potentially a boss for the to replace the traveler in the end game. Because in this video here from TorchCon, where they like did a presentation about what they were doing, they're adding some new end game challenges, and they kind of tease the fact that they're going to be replacing the traveler with a new kind of pinnacle boss, simply because he's just out of date, and like it's kind of hard for them to like scale everything correctly on him. Like for example, like Thea 3 has a thing where like she does a huge hit to enemies for the first time that she attacks them, and that like works on each phase of traveler, which is really dumb. And so yeah, it's just like a boss that's potentially going to get rolled out, and so this might be the new replacement for traveler, or this could be the brand new character, or maybe this is even the new Selena. Maybe instead of turning into a mermaid, she turns into some sort of clockwork monster, or clockwork thing. Who knows? Could be kind of cool. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Is this the new character, this new boss? What's going on? I think that this has a lot of potential to be a lot of pretty cool stuff this season, and I'm definitely pretty hyped to get back in and get grinding and, you know, go do SS20 again, just blast. If they do rework Dark Surge, I'm also kind of interested to like see like how they're going to handle the like pack spirit situation with that. Like, are the pack spirits for Dark Surge that we already have, are those going to continue to work, or like what's the deal there? Because it'd be kind of strange to have like two pack spirits for the same mechanic, but also what are you going to do, get rid of the old ones? That'd be kind of weird as well. So it'd be kind of interesting to see how this works out. And yeah, I'm just pretty hyped. I was not expecting there to be any Torchlight news for a little bit, and here we go. If you guys like want a good timeline of the different ARPGs and stuff that are coming up, I've been using ARPG timeline to keep, you know, track of what's going on with this, and so we can see now that like the next stuff coming up, we have like Diablo 4, Hades 2, and then Torchlight Infinite. PoE 2 or PoE 1 is probably going to be at the end of October, so probably have like a nice like week or two between the Torchlight launch and the PoE launch. So not a lot of overlap there, which is pretty cool. And I'm just expecting to have a really good time. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Do you think Rosa 2 mana stacking is going to survive, or is it going to get nerfed? I'm currently working on a written guide for it over on Heroic, and hopefully it's not a waste of time. We'll see you guys again soon, and come by the stream.